What's good, you guys? So in today's video, I'm going to be going over a bunch of tips and like ways to improve with the game, get better aim, just get a better understanding on how to get better, obviously. So before we get into the video, I just want to say I hope you guys had a great holiday. Like 4th of July was like yesterday, so hope you guys had a great time if you celebrate it, obviously. But if you guys are already good at the game, experience, whatever, blah blah blah, then there's no point watching this video. This is purely for the people who have been requesting this and have made comments, and there's a ton of you. So yeah, let's get into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about is the damage system. This is no in exact order. Like, I'm just going to talk about the main things that I think of. So the first thing is damage system. So basically, if you play this game and you're fighting a lot, you're 1v1ing, doing KOS, whatever, blah blah blah, Stomp Force. So you'll be fighting someone and your guns won't do anything. Like, it will do no damage, and basically it's annoying. It's annoying being in a situation where you shoot someone 5 times and they don't die, and then they just one tap you. It's just so unfair. And it happens way too much in this game. And one of the main reasons for that is military having high armor. So, everyone using high armor now is just, they're basically juggernauts. But the main problem I find with this damage system is tack. So don't get me wrong, tack is broken. Tack is really good because you can shoot so fast. It's basically like a rev shotgun. It's very good. But the thing is, it doesn't do much damage sometimes. Most of the time, honestly, it's just a pillow shooter. DB can do a lot of damage, but the thing is, tack is worse. But there's so many times when you're fighting someone, and let's say you miss both DBs, or let's say you hit them with both DBs and it doesn't kill them. And then you're sitting there shooting them with tack, and it does nothing. It literally does nothing. Now, for people who play on legit, I know you're not going to know what I'm talking about because you guys are curving and your bullets are just going into the person no matter what. So it doesn't matter to you. But for the people who are legit, you know what I'm talking about. So you'll be fighting with tack, and the spread, you'll hit them, but majority doesn't even do anything because it goes over them. And it's mostly a problem with tack, okay? It's mostly tack. The way that I've found to counter this is shotgun. So anyone who knows me and has watched my videos, you know that I am on a whole different level with shotgun. This shit is insane. I'm nuts with it. I literally one tap everyone. It's crazy. So for some reason, ever since I started the game, I started just maining this gun. I relied on it more than DB and Rev or whatnot because it does damage. It's just so much more broken to use a gun that you can rely on when you're legit instead of using something like attack that sometimes it does good and then sometimes it doesn't even do damage. So yeah, I rely on shotgun. Shotgun is more consistent with its damage. I find it way easier to do a lot of damage with it. So like, I would rather have DB Rev and shotgun instead of DB Rev and tack. Yeah, this is my go-to gun. It's very good. If you get used to how slow it shoots and how you barely move when you shoot it, then you will be unstoppable. It's very good, and I'm not saying it doesn't do 1 damage sometimes, but it's more reliable in my opinion. It's like just how I've been played this game for so long, and that's just what I've noticed. So now that we've talked about the damage system, yeah, try out shotgun if you're having that issue. Second thing is macro and FPS unlocker. So if you guys are playing this game without a macro and you're able to get one, make sure you do it because this game is crazy not to have one because everyone has one now and everyone macro abuses. So like, as you can see, I'm flinging around. Like, you need to have one. Like, it's insane because if you're fighting without a macro and they're just macro abusing on you, it's so unfair and you're at a disadvantage. So basically, all you need to do is go on YouTube and search up basically the mouse that you have and if it supports a macro software. And if it does, then you want to find a macro for the hood for your mouse. The most popular brands are Logitech, Razer, and Model O, the glorious Model O. So those are the most popular brands that have, mouse macros capability for the hood. And then after you have like, compatible macro system, then you go on YouTube and look up how to get one for the hood. And there will definitely be a video because I've seen tons of macro videos, and I also have one myself, which the one I use for my Razer mouse. So yeah, make sure you get one of those. But on top of that, you are going to need an FPS unlocker. You can also find that on YouTube. So the FPS unlocker will make your macro smoother and it will be a lot easier to use. But yeah, as long as it's over 60 FPS, you should be able to macro with it. Anyways, so now that we've talked about the third thing is going to benefit your macro. So if you guys have a first person macro, right, you're going to want to go into your avatar on Roblox. Let me open it up so I can guide you. So go to your scale and your avatar. You should normally be on R15. So when you're on R15, you're able to change your like proportions and like your width and height and stuff like that. You want to max it out so it's all like 100%. It may make you look goofy, but in game you will look normal. And then after you do that, switch your body type to R6. It will stay on like, you know, the max height and stuff, but you can only change it in R15. But once you do that, your macro should be faster, especially your backwards macro. Now, another thing I recommend doing is taking off core blocks. So if you are one of those people who have core blocks, it actually makes your macros slower. So you take it off and your macros should be quicker. Now look at my macro now. I went from R15 to R6 and my macro feels so much more sensitive and fast. It's crazy. Also, your backwards one will be really fast. So like, yeah, this is way easier to get away. Like, look at that. You can get away so easily doing this. So that is the third tip. The fourth tip is map rotation. Now, I know this might sound scummy kind of like to play like this, but if you're in a public lobby, right, and you're in a raid, no one cares if you have guns. No one cares to give you a fair advantage. No one cares about that. You're just going to get jumped. You're going to get raided. You're going to get stomped when you're buying guns. It's just how the game is. That's the game. That's literally what the hood is and how people play it. So the main goal is to slow them down so you can win and win more fights. That's just how it is, okay? Don't blame me for giving you this kind of info. That's just how the game is. So basically, what I recommend doing, instead of sitting in one place when you're fighting people, like camping a gun buy, it's not a good idea to just sit here and wait. I mean, this is basically what people are doing now. Everyone just sits in military and fights and spam buys armor and they're invincible. They can't die. That's how people play now. But the way to slow people down, if you're in like a raid, like a bunch of people fighting, instead of sitting in one spot, go around to each gun buy. So like the main places that I go to are military, rev, like normal rev, and then uphill. So you'll rotate through these spots with your macro that you just got. I just explained how to get. So you'll go here, you know, then you'll go uphill, and then you'll go back to military. It doesn't matter which order, you know, but you want to do it as quickly as possible without flinging. And you just keep doing this to keep them off the gun buys. It slows them down so much. Like I said, this is kind of a scummy way to play, but this is how the game is. And if you notice that no one is going to those three spots, then your best bet is to start going downhill or normal DB or new rev. And just, you know, keep going through those ways because you'll eventually find them. And they will be way harder for them to fight you and way harder for them to take control and, like, win the raid, if that makes sense. Because you're controlling everything. But honestly, at that point, they're probably going to be macro abusing with RPG and Flame because that's just how the hood is now and that's how people play. So, you know, at that point, by the time you have them literally almost where they can't buy guns, they're just going to go to super weapons and that's just the game. So, yeah, good luck with that as well. I really don't know how to help you there except sit on a roof. That's all I can think of. But, yeah. I can do another video, but I don't want the video to be too long. If you wanted part 2 to this, I will make it part 2 and you know, you just give me suggestions. If you also have tips that you want me to put in the video, I can make a part 2 on tips to get better at the game. Honorable mention that I wanted to say before I ended the video was tracing and tracking. If you play on low ping, I've said this so many times, and the reason that I'm really good at shooters and really good at games, especially the hood, is my tracing is insane. Like, a lot of the times recently I've been playing on high ping because for some reason the ping has been messed up. So I don't really trace as much as I used to because those shots don't even hit anymore because I'm on high ping. I usually just land like prediction shots because I'm on high ping. I try to flick and like just land whatever I can at that point. But basically when I'm playing on 50 to 60 ping, like in a private server or, you know, before like this random ping issue started happening, I was always tracing and my tracing was insane. So yeah, I recommend you guys, if you play on like around, you know, 65 ping or below, I recommend you focus on tracing better. And if you want my settings, I will put them up now. I have 400 DPI and 0.12. That's my settings. Also, make sure to put your graphics quality to the bottom, just so you get better FPS. But yeah, guys, that is the last tip I have for you today. And if you want a part 2, like I said, just let me know in the comments. I love you guys. I hope this helped. But yeah, have a good rest of your day. Peace.